Hi, I'm Xander Simmons. You're listening to Synchrony, a narrative podcast that takes you deep into the minds of its central characters using music and sound design. Meiosis is a special type of cell division that allows egg and sperm cells to reduce their chromosomes by half so they can combine in the creation of a new human being. This piece is a stream of consciousness snapshot from a woman's life. Her relationship is in crisis, the best times confined to a mythical past that her partner consoles her with, less and less convincingly. This is not a traditional story with a clear direction in mind. It's a musical representation of what it's like to be in someone else's head, with thoughts that break apart and recombine with fears, hopes, and dreams, searching for a way forward.
Because even though we're weary adults ground down by life's misery, it's that irresistible, curious joy from childhood that brings us back to our essence and tells us what to do. It tells us where to go, who to hang out with. If we listen, it's there. It's still there.
And I'll conjure up the past, and that's when we were moving with the current. Why did we turn around and start battling upstream like stubborn salmon?
Infinitely is the present, and the past. And I pluck that string is the future, and the past. And I pluck that present, infinite, and the past is the present. And I pluck that string is the present.
If we listen, it's there.
My God, is that beautiful? That pristine world of imagination. There's no better reason to want kids, I think. No better reason.
If we listen, it's there. It's there. If we listen, it's there.
It was already 3:30, and he came in with his odd-log leggings on, like a real prancer. And he told me to just shut the fuck up. Well, not really. I shouldn't say that. But still, I had to listen to his sermon on interconnectedness, plurality, the multiverse, biocentrism, not consciousness, not.
We're not kids anymore. We don't get to relive that special innocence where play and life are fused. Like Jonas would say, us adults, we self-consciously adopt every role we take, but we don't really live it. You know, like Jean-Paul's waiter. That's why Monsieur Sartre said there's more outrage at pedophilia than any other crime. Because it robs us of that precious state of innocence when we feel unself-consciously complete. Like both being in itself and being for itself.
That bird stance he wore when it was too early for the first joint of the day, since I decided to only smoke in the evenings and it was too late to get anything done before dinner, which I really do need to start getting ready. It's already 3:30. So I fiddled around in the kitchen, half listening, opening up cupboards that revealed nothing I needed or wanted. But wouldn't it be nice to have a cup of ginger tea, like the one I'm drinking now, but stronger and sweeter? And maybe a cigarette. Because that was the problem. I was replacing weed with tobacco. But that's no better, really. And what does it matter now that I'm smoking 4 fat joints a day? And what he's saying isn't any more or less interesting. It's just become part of the routine that puts your feet in cement that's almost dry, even though it's not cement, really. It's a river with a ripping, strong current, and you're trudging through, hard, like an ox. But you're getting nowhere. And because the landscape is static, you've forgotten that you're putting in all this effort to move forward. Which has just settled into a grinding underlayer to a dull reality where fatigue is the default state. God, am I tired?
So beautiful. Reminded me of us when we were living in France. Those long walks we take, talking. Especially that one day, the day after Bastille Day. Don't you remember? That's when we found the key. Yeah, exactly, under the log. Lift a little log in the forest and you'll discover a microcosm of the universe, you said.
What's the destination anyway? Is it home? Home? Is it to go? Home is where I wanna be. But I guess I'm home. Or I'm not tired anymore, but rested. Or I'm lying on my side after a good fuck.
It was one of those miraculous days, that's what you called it. The day of miracles. Running barefoot over the moss we were, nothing feels better than that, you said. Of course.
And he spooned around my naked body, whispering about the enchanted forest where we found the rusty key and started looking for the kingdom of the elves. Because that's where I want to be. And I'm there too, sometimes. Yes, it's true.
So we went around checking all the trees to see if they had a keyhole, like we were going to find a secret door to the world of the elves or something, like we were little kids. Don't you remember? Running barefoot over the moss we were, nothing feels better than that, you said. Of course, I went and ruined it. It said something about using it to wipe your ass if you needed to take a shit in the forest. It cleans much better than toilet paper, actually. Because, as we all know, toilet paper is barbaric. You never think that it might be you who's a barbarian.
And I'll conjure up the past. And that's when we were moving with the current. Why did we turn around and start battling upstream like stubborn salmon? It's my favorite meal. I don't care if it's boring. It's good, clean food. And you can gorge on bloody steak all night long and die of a heart attack. A heart attrition. A heart that's heavy and breaking because, well, that's not true. I don't mean that. Why have I got to be so mean? And anyway.
You never think that it might be you who's a barbarian. Especially when they go around printing fluffy puppies all over your barbarism. Hey, you know what someone told me the other day? The word barbarian comes from the Romans. It's because when they heard the German tribes speaking, they thought it just sounded like bar. Either you're educated and civilized, or you're an incomprehensible savage wiping your ass with a forest that's been cut down and renamed Supreme Quilted Velvet Deluxe. Fucked if I know what those words mean. But yeah, that day, man. I remember thinking, This is what it was like to have a best friend. You know? Like when you were a kid. It really seemed that simple again, didn't it?
We're going to the cinema tonight. A bar. And we'll get nicely juiced and fuck. Hopefully. Because even after 10 years of great sex, we're not just in it for companionship like everyone else I talk to. Christ, we're not even 40. And sure, it's okay if I'm out one night and someone catches my eye and I go back to their place and live out a fantasy. I go back to their place and live out a fantasy that's probably beige, boozy, sloppy, hazy, forgettable. But I couldn't have had this freedom with anyone else. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's tortured at times. But isn't that just life? There is no ideal, really. I'm not going to waste time fantasizing about that anymore, and it's better than the net curtain suburban loneliness peeking out at happy couples with their fucking kids, but they're not really happy. They've just got a project to take care of. Yeah. An 18-year-long project. Who knows, maybe even 25 years. They're leaving later and later these days. But better watch out when they do, because chances are you no longer know the person you've spent the last however many years with. And you'll be down to ABC anniversaries, birthdays, and Christmas. Fucking Christmas. I'm not spending it with his parents again. Never again.
I remember thinking, this is what it was like to have a best friend. You know? Like when you were a kid.
My God, what a joke. What a sellout.
It really seemed that simple again, didn't it? I know it's not simple anymore, man. I know, but I don't want it to be either.
My God, what a joke. What a sellout.
We're not kids anymore. We don't get to relive that special innocence where play and life are fused. Like Jonas would say, us adults, we
My God, what a joke. What a sellout. My God, what a joke. What a sellout. And the past is the present. My God, what a joke. What a sellout. Is the present and the past.
It was one of those miraculous days. That's what you called it, I think.
And the past.
The day of miracles.
Is the present.
You know, starting with that old woman who came to the house looking for her son. She was, like, confused and infinitely wise all at the same time, you know? Like in the film we saw tonight. It's so inspiring. She keeps getting ground down and getting up again. Keeps pushing forward, but she's not just pushing. She's feeling, reflecting, she's learning. Okay, sure, I know what you're going to say. Every film out of Hollywood is like this. They want us to accept our exploitation, work 2 jobs on minimum wage, thinking that it's all going to get better, but in reality it never does and there is no happy ending. Okay, when you get it. But what we saw tonight seemed that wasn't sentimental, I'm telling you.
Can't believe I let myself get dizzy with my own privilege of the naked body. Beautiful. That demands to be felt and touched and never forgotten. Let's not just get stuck in our heads, in our feeble little pantry plans, and say we've made it just because we've got a well-stocked cupboard. Who cares if there's a pinch of saffron? For fuck's sake. Demands. We are so privileged, and I'm tired of the guilt. Demands. Yeah. We've all got a lot of that, and I keep trying to live a lighter life. You know, I mean, bright and weightless, all at the same time.
It's that irresistible, curious joy from childhood.
And I'll glide away downstream. Demands to be flying on this long log body that pours the past. Demands to be. But who cares? Those were beautiful times. Demands to be. It's why we fell in love and are still in love, even despite the long list of big, scary words that keeps getting longer.
It's there.
We don't fall apart, and we don't pretend that having kids would solve all our problems. Who knows, maybe it would, because then no better reason you have an excuse to run around in the forest
It's
looking for
still
elves.
there.
No better reason. My God, is that beautiful. And I guess that might be that pristine world of imagination. There's no better reason to want kids, I think. After a good bang. No, the thought that you better be something that will grow up inside you. And I guess that might be nice one day. Grow up outside. To lie there, being spooned. After the bang, the thought that you've spawned something that will grow up inside you is the future, and then grow and up outside and around you. Someone who's the future, the past, the future and the past. Someone who's the present. And I pluck that string, pulled taut between the watch two. Its waves flow forward. And I pluck that string to watch its waves flow forward and back. I pluck that string, and I pluck that and string. And listen to its rippling tone, which is actually a multitude of tones, infinitely dividing.
Synchrony is written, composed and produced by Xander Simmons, mixed by Zach Scholes and mastered by Guy Hébert. This episode stars Gabrielle Audet as the unnamed woman and Oshen Aoun as her partner. Piano and saxophone performed by Xander Simmons. This podcast is made possible with support from the Canada Council for the Arts. Please do take the time to like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you heard. It goes a long way. Tune in next week for a completely fresh soundscape to immerse yourself in.